Hey! Always worth a go. Hello and welcome to this Actual Play UK stream of the Cubicle 7 game or TTRPG Soulbound. This game is entitled Lost and Bound, and it is an absolute pleasure to welcome the players who are with me. I'm Adam, the GM, interviewer and editor of Snyder's Returns podcast, and I would love to allow my guests to introduce themselves, so we'll start with Shamini, please.
Hi, yeah, my name is Shamini. I use she, her pronouns. I'm popping over from the RPGeeks, which is a podcast and video series which combines science with various TTRPG adventures.
Thank you very much. Pip, please.
Hello, I'm Pip Gladwin. I go by he, him, and I hail from the hallowed shores of the Realms of Peril and Glory podcast and various voice actory projects that I am also a part of.
Amazing, amazing. And last but not least, Hamilton, please.
Hi. Oh, hi. It's so weird. I'm so not used to being the player. So, okay. Hi, I'm Hamilton. I use he, him pronouns. I am on a number of projects, but you'll find me most regularly on the DM's Book Club with my friend and co-host Fiona, who also runs the What My Rolling podcast. And I am doing lots of projects that are in the works, like Bowies and Spelljammer, that is hopefully going to come out later this year. That's
Woo! Exciting stuff. And a big shout out to John, the Trawler of Two-Ton Bridges, who is out of sight, but always in my ear.
Lurking.
Lurking.
Like a troll under a bridge.
Before we go into the game itself, I'd like to break some ice by bringing us all together, if that makes any sense, with a question, a bit of an icebreaker, as it were. One for you to ponder over and give an answer when you're ready, I guess, is the only way of doing this. This is Soulbound, and this question is to each of you. If you were to be bound or brought into a binding, would you go into a binding for order, chaos, destruction, or death? And why, please?
Why are those the options? What? There's rainbows and unicorns?
I'm just going with what's canon to the world
God damn
in which
it.
we are existing.
Well, what is rainbows and unicorns out of those? I mean, other than obviously
Destruction.
death and destruction. But
Chaos, probably, yeah.
yeah.
Is this us in real life? Like,
Yes,
actually
please.
us?
As a
Real-
person, not as your character, because we will get to know your characters, but as a person, where do you fall in those?
My problem is I, as a person, am like quite boring. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be chaotic and destructive, but no, I'm like, are there rules? Shall I follow them? All right. You know, like, it's not sexy, but I'm a rules follower.
So there would be order then, I would say. Okay. Shamini.
I mean, there's got to be
Order.
people that are. Like, that's the thing. The world needs, the balance and beauty of all things.
I'm
and
waiting to see which one of you says like death and destruction and then like making notes personally. Just
Well,
so you
it
know,
is.
I'm
Yeah.
judging you.
Pip, Hamilton, where would you be bound to?
What do you want, Pip? Do you know where you want to go yet? Do you know where you're going yet?
Yeah,
Alright,
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I would love to say that I would go with order. I like to think I'm quite a nice person, and that's probably where you fall if you're a nice person. But we're talking about Warhammer here, and nice people are in short supply. So, and also like just because of my experience with the game growing up, my heart will always lie with those crazy little orcs. I love those guys, and I think in my heart I would be swept up like a mad little cog in that huge, awful, destructive machine. And I just want to build a car out of nothing that would work as a car and have it work, which is a deep cut for what orcs can do.
Yeah. Paint it red.
Just paint it red. It makes it go faster because you believe that is what it will do, and I love those guys. So I assume that's chaos, right?
It's
No, that's destruction.
Oh, it's destruction.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes, destruction, please, Adam.
I mean,
one
the
forward,
orcs are basically Taoists if you think about it, really.
I mean, I feel like they're the most honest faction.
100%.
You know, like there's no subtlety. There's very little deceit and deception with an orc.
No.
They run at your house and then eat your house. Like that's kind of it. And then make your house into a car. And then
take it for a spin.
and then run it into someone else's house. And there's a purity to that, I think.
There is,
yeah. So that's me, I think. Yeah.
And on that bombshell, almost, Hamilton.
I mean, like, yeah, it's chaos, right? I mean, I guess that's what I mean. I just stick on, like, I don't know why I'd even try. I mean, I've got no order to my life. That's just never going to happen. I like to be a nice person, but I listen to way too much death metal for that to be a thing. But it's not death because surprisingly horror isn't like mainly my bag. I like stupid campy horror, but and gothic horror. So vampire counts maybe, but I think yeah. That's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be like the noise marine with my electric guitar. Do you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Saying hell yeah a lot, as much as I possibly can.
I gotta admit, before we start, I know not of the Warhammer. But my friend Dr. Simon Clark, he likes the Warhammer, and there are armies and space marines and small figures get painted, and I'm just like, yeah, so many references just went over my head. So if anyone's watching and you too, like, we'll hang out. It's cool.
Well, luckily for this, we don't need a deep knowledge. We'll lay some out, but this is all about you as characters and the bindings you form, and the relatively simple task put in front of your binding that we will see if you can draw to some sort of resolution or conclusion, or wherever we find ourselves. So to set the scene, as it were, we find ourselves on the Great Parch, the overall setting for the Soulbound Age of Sigmar sort of world and realm, and within that, up on the sort of north coast, just to the west hand, is the city of Anvilgard, and unfortunately, we're not there. We are getting there. That is our destination. We are going to travel there. However, it's going to take more than just a short jaunt. It's the same picture. There we go. And my computer's taking 20 minutes to load. Come on, computer.
It knows. It knows.
It doesn't know. It's trying to confuse me and trick me and stuff.
Oh, I think we got some NPC lore there.
Yeah, we did.
Quick,
NPCs,
take a screenshot.
NPCs,
Spoilers.
write them down. Spoilers. Spoiler alerts. It's literally closed the map I was going to open, which is the most stressful.
Oh, that's sad.
It really wants to show us this page, huh?
It really does.
Drusa, is that someone he told us about? Because he told us about some NPCs.
He did.
I did.
Was that one? No, she's not important. We would have mentioned her.
Oh, we're getting info about the Black Nexus now. We're getting.
What's that?
There's a beach mermaid. Is that bad thing?
This all seems important. Oh no, this is Guide to Anvilgard.
So to
we're not
win
there
the
yet,
game,
so-
up, down, down, left, right,
These
X,
are-
0,
Yeah,
These are
triangle.
the
Angle your dice in this manner to win.
There we go.
Rosebud. That's a deep cut for anyone who knows that reference.
So, Anvilgard, the city there just on the coast of the Searing Sea and the Charwing coast. However, we find ourselves descending down through the mountainous region of the Crimson Twins and down into the forested area. I'll leave that up for a little bit of reference. The players and their characters have been traveling through and made it through the sort of the mountainous region down into the forest itself there at the Crimson Twins. We find ourselves in and around the sort of top of the forest there, coming southward with a group of 3 soulbound in this binding, and then 4 merchants or travelers who we'll meet shortly. I think now is a good time to find out who is in this binding. So start again with you, Shamini. Who is your
So you see stalking along with rather a sort of maybe a somewhat permanently stern slightly angry expression, as if offended by all this fresh air and birds tweeting in the trees. A human person in a very sort of dramatic blue-green sari, sort of sweeping around, lots of sort of dark hair, but with this, again, this sort of like bluish, greenish, it's kind of like the colours of the sea are seeping out, but not the nice blue sea, the deep and murky sea. Ugh. And they're holding a staff which looks like it was once quite nice, like, and gold underneath, but it's been taken over by like barnacles and limpets. And yeah, this is Eksha Zeminka, who uses she, they pronouns.
Right. So tagging along, since you're taking the stride first, it would seem, who's striding alongside Eksha?
I don't know if I've got it in me to stride.
Maybe. All right. Well, then maybe. Maybe then.
Look, I'm definitely the slowest. I don't.
Yeah. No.
I'm not-
Exactly. Yeah. No. And to be honest, you'll see striding along next to them, probably recounting some sort of tale, trying to also put some charm and wit into their speech. This Druchi elf, who is wearing a ready and gold dragon cloak that they'll have sort of draped over one side of them, and that sort of blows away in the wind behind them. And below that, sort of dark leather armor with a bit of metal bindings to it. They have a long white with some black streaks in it, but I don't have the right wig, so this is the best you're gonna get. Deep set eyes, sort of like, cut features, and sort of striding with purpose, I'd say, but also with lots of arm gesturing. There's a lot of this and that, and sort of pondering looks, and a lot more activity coming from them comparative to Akasha. Sorry, I'm so bad. Akasha, next to them, and Kaileri. This is Kaileri Tidebane, who uses they, any pronouns.
All right, and following up the rear, I would say.
Yes, trundling along behind them is the figure of Odmund Guiltforge. He is a Duardin, and he's about 4 foot tall, and frankly about 4 foot wide, at least at the shoulders. Very much a Tetris square block. I think he's walking along, enjoying Kai's sort of, expostulating, and he's older for a dwarf, so probably somewhere in the sort of 150 years old kind of bracket. He is has long black hair, which has sort of streaks of grey in it, same in the beard. Much of the hair and beard is kind of got these little silvery trinkets woven into it, little bits of bone, and they all kind of click and clatter on each other, like whenever he moves and turns his head. He has very pale skin for a dwarf. I want you to imagine a goth dwarf, basically. It's kind of what I want you to picture here. But that's sort of offset by the fact that he's basically sort of, there's like a, kind of like a leather hold-all and a sort of loincloth, and that's it. He's not wearing anything else. There's no bracelets, there's no shoes, there's no sandal, there's nothing. That is the only garment he is wearing. As a result, you can see on his chest and shoulders on the back, you can see there are these golden runes, these metal runes, like metal has been sort of bonded with the flesh of his chest and shoulders, sort of gleaming in any sunlight that we pass through. And there is also a very large one of these runes right in the middle of his forehead, covering sort of much of the forehead. But yeah, he's just trundling along, enjoying the fresh air.
Well, trundle along with you, between you as a group, somewhere sort of straddled down this line, is 4 very different, sort of different to yourselves anyway, looking individuals. There is a sort of a slender elf sort of wrapped up, who during your time of travels you have got to know as Ibn Nis. She carries her backpack and straps very, very tight, though her movements are sort of very definite and with purpose. Never seems to want to put a foot wrong, but maintains a steady stride and a posture, possibly just sort of dropping in behind you two at the front, Kai and Akasha. Somewhat in a similar stride pattern to yourself, Odmund, are 2 Dwarden, but one is wearing a sort of almost blacksmith's type sort of attire. There's a bit of a half jacket with some sort of leather work underneath it, a bit of an apron, but it sort of forms more into sort of baggy trousers underneath. Sweat seems to be pouring off him, but the dirt always remains as this Dwarden Omidon Blackfire sort of tries to keep pace and again chugs with his backpack sort of hunched very much higher, so it extends out above his head as he sort of moves with all his tools and his cargo behind him. Slow to follow is another Dwarden who has a more brash, slightly bulkier at the top, slightly more rotund in the middle. Roscoe Flats, who is just, his backpack seems oddly empty compared to everybody else, and he sort of whistles and chats with himself when conversation goes quiet. And lastly, sort of not moving up the rear, but sort of taking it also a leisurely stride and enjoying the sunlight, enjoying the surroundings of this sort of wooded or forested area, is a human female called Rinda Lambert. She is quite in awe of the group, but also timid in her own way as they sort of move through and sort of trace this line. Your journey through the mountainous region and down into the forest is uneventful, to say the least. You sort of overcame the challenges, made your way through, made camp and moved on. Nothing really unsettled the groups, but there has been a rippling of information that sort of has caught the traveler's ears, and Rinda sort of turns to, we'll say, you two at the front, and she's like, now, as we get closer to Anvilgard, is there anything else we need to be? What I've heard of things in the forest, and I know you guys are I know you're both super. Well, you're all super brave. You're all super brave, but I mean, we're such a small group in a big area. Are we going to be okay?
Totally. Yes. I mean, we've got Extra here can do magic, sort anything out that will come in our way. Trust me, we are fine. Totally. Anything, we can handle it. I promise. What do you think?
Keep your fingers crossed that you don't have to see any of what we can do.
Yeah, like that.
But I've heard so much about, like, the Stormcast Eternals and other, like, champions of Sigmar. I mean, I'm honored to be here with you, but it's such a big place.
We don't need any Stormcast Eternals with us. You've got just as good. Trust me.
Okay. And you can hear the 2 Dwarden sort of smirking in their own way as Omidon's like, "Yeah, laddie. Sorry, like, but there's bad things around here. I've heard rumors, they say. Rumors. Where we're going's not a great postcard. And I've heard shadows. Well, I haven't heard the shadows. I've heard of shadows. Well, what do you make of this stuff? What do you make of it all?
What kind of? What? I mean, I need a bit more than shadows. I mean, they're just. I mean, I cast one right now. I need a bit more than just.
It's just what I've been hearing in it. So, you know, like, and there's rumors of things going down. Look, I just want to get there safe. You know, I've got stuff to do. I've got people to see, place to go. Why couldn't we go by sea, huh?
Well, I don't have a ship anymore. That's one reason. Why didn't we?
Also, the sea is full of monsters and pirates. Look, it's a little bit late for you to be worried about having hired the three of us to protect you, because right now we're all there is. Oddmund, do we have a plan in case of shadows?
In case of shadows,
Yes, what will you do if there's shadows?
there's shadows right now.
I point at a shadow.
Well, what are you going to do about it, Oddmund? Sort it out, please.
I suppose I could cut the tree down.
There we go. Oddmund's going to cut a tree down for you. Do you feel better?
I feel fantastic. Thank you. You are so kind with your wisdom, my lady. Come on, like, how long are we going to be walking today? Because my feet are starting to get tired. I got little legs. You know why it's late, don't you, Oddmund? Huh? Little legs.
Yes, but powerful legs.
Yeah.
We have a little more distance to travel, I think. You needn't fear these woods and whatever it is that might be in them. You have stout and good protection from the three of us. And you know, worst case scenario, we all die.
And Ibn speaks up and says, "That is not the reassurance I was after."
But if it is these shadows, well, what a death we shall make it, eh?
I think we should just keep walking.
I think so too.
And as you continue on through, sort of weaving your way through a sort of pre-planned route, you guys have, or the group of you have sort of worked out A to B and sort of way marks on the way. Omidon can't resist and says, "Oh, laddie, with the stick leg, how come you don't stick in the ground when you walk?"
Oh, all right. Well, it's because I've had this for quite a long time, and I've got to a certain level of use with it. Fortunately, you haven't seen how adept I am with it. But questions like that will make you further acquainted, if you so wish.
I see. And Roscoe sort of quick as a tack sort of leans around him and says, "So, if you ever run out of need and you want to like part with it, you know, I'm more than happy to take it off your leg."
My thigh? You're going to take...
Off your...
I'm quite attached to it, thank you. I mean, it's... yes.
I mean, it looks well made. I reckon I can get quite a price for that. So, you know, if... Roscoe, sorry. Oh, Roscoe.
I assume thank you's the answer here, but I'm not feeling it. So, we'll go with
because it's
cool.
a sword, you're not feeling it. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
If any of you would likewise like us to sell any of your limbs, I'm sure that can be arranged. Just let us know.
I've got the perfect tool for the job to, you know, part them from you. Definitely.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
I've seen him do it. Quite a sight.
It's all right.
You can kick a man's arm right off.
Rinda, immediately fascinated by this, is like, "Oh, wow! When did that happen, Kai? Would you tell me?"
No, tell us again. Tell us again. I'd love to hear the story again.
I thought it was all a little showy, to be honest.
Well, okay. Oh, well,
one
you
of
want to
my
hear the story?
favourites.
Well, this is different. I'm happy to expand on that. If you don't know already, I was on the seas in my prime, and was on one of the Black Arcs, the Claw of Malarian. It was one of the greatest and largest Black Arcs the Corsairs know to roam the Searing Sea and beyond.
Are any of those pirate ships great? They look like crumbling hulks. Half the wood's rotting away.
It's part of the charm of it. And it's also menacing. It was dark and it was painted black with streaks of gold on it. And I was standing a prow well, okay, maybe it wasn't. Where was I? Oh, I was on the Crow's Nest. That was it at the time. And I was standing looking over the sea as it came. And I was the first to see it, right there on the horizon. A huge hulking sea dragon. It grew out from underneath the blue, and it started to roar. And all of us, we don't turn from a fight, us Drucci, I called for the captain. We headed straight on with it. Cut a long story short, I was magnificent. I may have been caught by a claw as I was doing some backflips and multiple slashes and using my hand crossbow. It might have sheared off pretty quickly. Don't remember much of the rest of the fight, but I was told I was magnificent by everyone.
You're my hero, Kai.
Sea monsters and pirates are just as bad as each other. Nothing to hero worship. That includes you, Kai. That includes you, in case you were wondering.
Well, I can't help what the people think. So, you know.
As the group continues and the stories regale and Rinda sort of probes each of you for a little bit more information, you sort of move through, the sun continues its arc through the sky, and as it sort of reaches the midday point, we're going to do this without breaking the stream.
Fingers crossed.
Let's see. Put it back on. Go to that one. Go to that one. Stand by. Feel free to cut every single bit of this out.
Oh, no.
Just go straight to us laughing.
Wow.
Wow.
As you
Seamless.
seamless. Whoosh. Oh, it's almost too big. Can you see? Hey, that's there we go. That'll fit in. Something similar to that.
Right.
As you continue on through the path, you carry on through and find a small clearing, and off to one side there seems to be an individual knelt down, and what seems to be a carcass is the wrong word, but the dead body of a deer. And you see them from the back, they're sort of bent down. You can see a black sword sort of poking out from behind them, still sort of housed in its scabbard, and this form is knelt down, investigating, turned away from you, seemingly this form in front of it.
Actual, look at Kai and sort of gesture over there.
I'll whisper. Did you get in sinister feelings, or you get in? What are they up to?
I think they're having dinner.
Oh, sorry. Right.
Maybe they'll share it if you do your whole I'm so charming and lovely thing.
Well, maybe you should be a bit more subtle with this new friend.
Would you want me to do it? Because I can go and ask them if hi, nice
Well,
to meet you, give me the deer.
Okay, we're gonna. You want the deer? You hungry?
I'm always hungry.
Oh right, okay.
You both hear a very soft scraping sound as Oddmund is pulling his axe out. Slowly, but...
Can I make a vibe check?
Yes, vibe check.
Vibe check. Is that the word?
Interesting. I wouldn't go with vibe. Let's go with
I know. You know what I mean.
Did you put any points in vibe?
Intuition. I put points in intuition. I mean,
Yeah,
I went
go
for 5. I mean, naturally, but yeah, no, I put some points in intuition.
Yeah, go for it. So we'll say the difficulty is 4.
4. Okay. 4, just 1. 4, 1.
So 4-1, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because I've got 2. I got 2d6 for intuition.
Nice.
I got
First
a
roll of the
5 and
game.
5 and a 3.
Sorry, I always get excited.
So I got 1 success.
So 1 success. So something is a little bit off. They don't appear to be investigating this slain deer, this dead deer for any kind of butchery reasons. There seems to be a more focused, and the way they're sort of hunched forward, the armor sort of flails down. There's a cloak, you can see the sword. They seem poised to stand and move. They're not sort of attempting to break the body down for parts or feasting or anything like that. There seems to be a more forensic intent in their movement.
I think Oddman's gonna scan the tree line, like, out ahead of us. I'm getting ambush vibes.
So,
it's all about the vibes. So
it's all
far,
about
guys.
the vibes. So looking out ahead of you then, Oddmund, obviously you have to look past the taller members of the travelling party, as it were, and looking down across the track, indicated by the dotted line for B there. Ahead of you seems clear. It seems to just sort of carry on in to the east. We're travelling south. I had to work that one out. To the east of you, the Alpha section all seems to be clear. There doesn't seem to be sort of any disturbance. There's the shadows. You can deal with the shadows if you want.
I cut down every tree. No.
This becomes an eco shame.
warrior.
Just everywhere.
And just to this side where this individual is, they seem to be presently alone. There is just them. This animal remains in the shadows, and you notice as they sort of flare and twitch and sort of begin to manipulate the deer form, this dead animal's form. Their hands appear to be more skeletal, should we say, than humanoid in that respect.
There's I relay what I see.
I
got skeleton hands.
It's undead.
Maybe they'll still share dinner with us.
I mean, yeah. Do we want to go sneaky, or do we want to just like introduce ourselves and just go for a fight, or see what happens?
As long as we get the deer by the end, I'm easy.
Doesn't matter.
Jeez. All I hear is a rumbling from.
Yes.
All right. Okay. We'll get it. All right. Yes. No worries.
You can hear the bags and the footsteps of the rest of the group sort of trundling to a halt as they're like, "What's going on?"
Can I go back to them? Because I presume are they right next to where we are?
They're catching up to you, so you can go back and intercept them a bit further back if you choose.
Go back and intercept them, and say to all of them, "Why don't you, just for a moment, carefully examine the back of that tree? I'm sure it's very, very interesting. We just have to take care of dinner."
Ibnir sort of looks you up and down a little bit, and she says to you, "I'm not a fool, you know. You can just ask us to wait, and we will. You're here to get us to Anvilgard safely. Don't waste our time with these pathetic excuses. If you have a job to do, go and do it."
Okay, I'm just asking you to go over there and look at the back of that tree. Is that all right? Sorry, what would you like me to change my my descriptive flowery language because it doesn't suit you? I'm not trying to fool you. I'm trying to communicate with you. It's a tree. Go there.
We hired you.
Should we have more of an argument? We could discuss this further. I think we should probably discuss this further, don't you?
I'm sure we will. Come on. And she sort of ushers like children everybody else, even though she's probably only slightly older in elf years than the rest are in Dwarden and human years. Sort of shepherds them over.
Yeah.
And you see that she turns back and gives you a very disgruntled look, like this conversation will continue, whether you choose it to happen or not.
I turn to Osmond just what Osmond whilst this happens and goes, she's angry before the fight. This is going to be fun.
It's a dinner and a show. Look, I'm not exactly a master of stealth, so perhaps you could approach quietly, and I'll back you up.
All right. Well, all right. Come with Ek. I don't know if you'd probably try some. I'm just gonna say he will try nicknames for you that you will hate. I'm just saying. Just warning you now. I've got a few.
Nice.
You up for it?
She just like says slightly too loudly, like, "Oh, over here. You want me to come over here with you?" Is that what you would like?
Yes. Quietly, maybe.
As this meal
Right.
I try and mime some tippy toes.
Yeah, alerted by our bickering.
you can hear the sort of the scabbard scrape on the floor, and the form begin to sort of stand and extend. So whatever you're attempting to do, it's probably worth attempting to do it now.
All right, mate. Let's have at it then. How you doing? You all right there?
Ask them about the deer.
We're interested in your deer.
As they turn round to you, at first not truly acknowledging you, they stand up their full height, between 6 and 7 feet. The armor sort of flares out, the cape sort of looses down, the sword now slightly concealed, though you can still see it sort of poking down to one side. This sort of black and goldish armor, a shield is sort of lifted and propped to the ground and then sort of hefted into one arm, just to be carried at this point in time, but you can see it's there at the readiness. And this skeletal form turns round to the pair of you, to the three of you, I'm guessing, since you're all kind of there or thereabouts, and says, "I am Lord Balfron Doom. I am not your enemy this day. Do not interfere with my work."
To be fair, he does look like he needs a meal.
Yes, but just try and be a bit. Do the flattering thing you do.
Well, my lord, absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance. What have you here? What has happened here with this deer then?
The deer is clearly dead, you fool.
Yes, of course. Yeah, what I mean is, you seem to be investigating the deer's this past deer, and just inquiring as to why.
The deer is of little consequence. It is tracks I am following. I'm trying to find the Queen of Scythes, and I must scour this realm on behalf of my lord.
Right. Queen of Scythes. Do I reckon? Do I recognize that name, Jim?
You can do it. Let's have a look. Theology. Got anything in theology?
I ain't good at that. Anyone better at that?
Shockingly, no.
Does Ekashin know any more about that?
Theology?
Theology.
No.
All right, I'll give it a roll though. I got a 1.
Yeah.
No idea.
No idea. So, how? In what way do you have no idea? How do you show that you have no idea?
The Queen of Scythes, of course. Right. I've not seen her today.
You mean you have information?
No, none. No.
Are you holding back from me, boy?
Nothing. Well, yeah, right. I haven't been called boy in quite a long time. Jeez. No, I don't have anything to know of this. But we are interested in your deer, though. Changing of subject.
The deer is inconsequential, boy.
But to me, it's not. Well, I mean, why don't you pass on your way, and we'll take the deer off your hands, and all be merry.
Yes.
I think while this dazzling repartee is going on, you get a sort of tug, Akasha, like sort of, you know, on the back of your cloak, little tug on the back of your cloak, and Oddmund is gonna like nod his head at this guy and then sort of turn and look up at you and just like, he looks like a tough guy. And he's got a kind of dangerous glint in his eyes.
Yes.
He doesn't look that. He looks like a softie to me, to be honest, Oddmund. He looks like he would be very easy to take in a fight. He looks like anyone who killed him wouldn't be that impressive. It would just be. Oh, and yeah, that's a good point. Looks like it would be an easy match with no glory for anyone, and he probably, if he did kill you, would just turn you into a skeleton. I don't know how it works, but it probably wouldn't be a real death anyway. So don't Oddmund, no. Oddmund, no.
Oddmund turns around sulkily and sort of kicks a rock.
Yes, go fight that rock. Yes, there we go. Very glorious.
You get a call from the back from Ibnir. What is the hold up?
Shut up. Got this. Nothing. We're fine. Look, kind sir, Lord, my lord.
Lord
we are
Balfron Doom.
Lord Balfrom Doom. Lord Doom.
Right,
Lord Doom. Now, Kai's going to put on his airs and graces a bit more now. He's seen like these, and the jovialness isn't going to work. Apologies, my lord. And you see his voice change to some sort of affirmed, posher accent that he sort of holds for some times when it depends on if he's in court. Lord Doom, apologies. Look, we are protecting some merchants who are trying to make their way to the fine city of Anvilgard, and we are looking for no trouble. We are looking to just pass by. I unfortunately do not have any knowledge of this Queen of Sighs that you speak. However, if we can be of any aid to you, we would kindly offer that to you as much as we can beyond our previous, roles that we have
In
with this.
return for dear.
In return, but my esteemed friend here is very hungry as well, and so if we can have the deer as well, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you very much, my lord, and I'll bow.
Wow.
You're really ruining my vibe with this deer business. You know, I've got a report going here, but I'm trying for you. I do hope this is going. You know, yeah. Anyway.
It's fine. I'd say he raised an eyebrow, but he doesn't have any. There's this soulless, eyeless, hung sort of jaw expression, sort of the dropped jaw, as though you are almost insulting him, and he puts his hand on the hilt of his blade, and he says, "As you have answered me honestly, I, Lord Balfron Doom, will present you with this deer. But my lord will hear of your travels."
And your lord being
"Ah,
esteemed, obviously, I imagine.
know your airs and graces, boy. My lord Fer-de-Lance shall be made aware of your troubles." And he reaches down, releases the hilt, the handle of his sword, reaches down with his spiny, bony fingers and sinks them into the carcass and just kind of grips it round the sort of the middle rib cage spine area and just kind of lifts it up single-handedly and tosses it into the middle, into the sun, and flicks the blood off the bone, off his own bony fingers, and returns his hand to the hilt of his blade. And he would watch you, but you can't see what he's watching because he has no eyes. So he appears to just be gazing across, as though allowing you to at least come forward and collect this meat from the middle of the glade. or this area.
Can I turn and try and speak to Kai without him hearing?
Absolutely, yeah.
Kai, you've got me deer meat. And that goes a long way. You are, despite being a pirate, very much in my good books right now. He was very rude to you. Shall we kill him? Oddman was already up for it.
I mean, I'm concerned that the way he said, "I'm going to tell my lord." It was a bit like, sorry, I'm doing the posh voice. So sorry, mate. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, he kept calling you boy. Like, maybe we should. Would it be noble and honourable? Kill him a little bit. Maybe we just a little bit. Maybe I'll just set Oddmund on him.
Just give Oddman the run around. I mean,
Like, I didn't say anything because I wanted the deer, but now that we've got the deer, you know.
I mean, we're meant. I don't know. If someone doesn't present an actual threat to me, I feel like we shouldn't. But I see your point. I'm concerned.
Really rude.
Why don't we send Oddmund out to collect the deer, right? And see what happens. Because Oddmund's the sort of one who can pick up the
Yeah, I was
deer.
gonna say.
I am 100% like already. I'm 100% already doing that.
Yes.
Like you turn around.
I turn around. Oh, right.
You
Anyway,
turn
go on.
around. I will reach down with my frankly enormous hands. Grip the deer around the forelegs and the back legs, and just lift it over my shoulders.
Oh. Thanks for the deer. I think we'll be on our way.
Turn to the others.
I'll call out to the traders. Time to keep moving.
Yeah, I think. Let me. You're very kind and graceful, my lord.
he
Please
wasn't.
send our regards onto your further lord, and I would love to extend my apologies for any untoward behavior on our behalf. We were caught unawares.
What you doing, Kai?
And I give a very deep bow, looking up as I do, to see if it's working.
I think hadn't you looked up if you just accepted the piety and maintained, but this sign of insolence, even with our eyes, you can see that you're sort of almost playing him, and you hear the slow slide of sword from scabbard as he releases and says, "You boy have disrespected me one last time.
Oh, fuck
You will join my lord's ranks today." And roars the blade.
You said boy too many times. I'm sorry. We're done. We're done.
I huck a deer at him.
All right.
Oddman, just forget all that stuff I said before. Forget that. That was rubbish. I was talking nonsense.
Also, you just called the people through.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are now.
I did. Yeah.
Well, I hope. I mean, they're they said they were smart, so hopefully they won't
They're
run into a
clearly
fight.
not, because they're like, "What's going on?" Like,
Shut up.
Right.
So you're throwing this deer? Yes? No?
I'm gonna huck a deer at him. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Let's
we're going to lose the deer now. I did a lot of work for
Yeah,
that deer.
probably. I'm really sorry. I need to get rid of
love
it
it.
in order to
No, I love
fight
it.
properly, and I
love
think
it.
Let's
It's the
do-
right way.
do a ballistic skill because you're trying to throw at a range.
Christ.
Unless you want to argue something else that makes sense, I'm open to interpretation.
I'd love to argue for might
Beast handling?
to throw this deer very, very hard.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Go on.
Okay, great.
Body might.
Body might. Oh boy. Okay. So that is what's the difficulty on this?
So,
And how many successes do I need?
body might. You're trying to throw a heavy carcass at someone who's in. So you're in B on the map, and he is stood just inside of C. So technically, it's across a zone, and you're trying to hit him with his shield. So it's going to be like 5 and ups.
And how many?
Your body might, so whatever your body and might skill.
Oh no,
so
I mean,
bodies-
so 5's and up, and is
Oh,
there a
five
success
ones.
threshold? 5,
just ones.
just ones.
Just
All
one
right.
5.
Well, with 6 dice, hopefully I can do that.
Bloody hell.
That is, oh my god, that is 2 6s and 2 5s.
Nice. So that's 4.
What happens?
So as this carcass sort of leaves your shoulders and flies across, and there's legs spinning and head twisting and body contorting as it sort of flip-flops through the air, you just see this large metallic shield with now it's fully exposed. You can see like the skull motif and the bone motif upon it, and he just deflects this thing back down onto the floor as it sort of bounces away. He is pretty hardy and now enraged as the sword comes fully out. The shield is sort of brought into a power stance, and he is just about to move. What are Akasha and Kai doing in this moment, since Pip, you've just acted?
Absolutely.
He is about to move.
Akasha, do you want to go?
I'll cast a spell on him.
Do it.
If I may. So
You may.
she's been glaring daggers, firstly at Kai for being too polite, and then at this Lord Doon for just being horrible. And this sort of smell of salt fills the air, but it's not kind of like, the fresh sea breeze. It's sort of like rotting seaweed and overwhelming seafulness. And she's gonna bring her staff round and send a bolt that looks like the water sort of skittering across the seafloor, which is Arcane Bolt.
Nice.
I've never played this game before.
That's all right.
I don't know what I'm doing at all.
There's,
Neither have I. I don't
there's
think any of us
analogues to anything. Everything.
But so it's 4-1.
Yeah, so you roll your spell, your mind
plus
channeling,
channeling, right? Yeah. Okay.
and you have to get 4 and above
Okay. Right.
on 1 dice for it to successfully cast.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that. Oh no, sorry, that did not work. Wrong number of d6s. There we go. Right, I've got 2 successes, a 5 and a 6,
All right. So 2 successes.
and it's 1 damage plus 1 per additional success.
So that'd be 3 damage. So you see it, this sort of coursing, rippling water, this wave of energy you've created, slams in, and you can hear it impact, and it hits the armor this time. It doesn't hit the shield. It sort of manages to work its way around, and this skeletal form sort of rocks back a little bit. Doesn't appear to have taken much in the way of damage. They are exceptionally well armored, exceptionally sort of strong, and with that, as it sort of rocks back, it sort of uses the momentum to launch forward, and it's aiming towards you, Kai, as it's now crossing the zone. You've got moments to take an action.
Can I have a thing that I'd like to have done? Is that I would have waited intentionally for Akasha to do the spell, and I would have liked to have run with the water.
Okay.
So used it as like as in like Naruto style running. So that's the only way I run in D&D games, any sort of D&D games.
Arms
So anyway,
back.
arms back running, and then I would have liked to have appeared just as he's rocking back, just come in with the first cutlass to slice at them, and then I will use my ambidextrous to then dual wield and do some sort of cool backflip to slice them with my leg sword.
All right. So, what is your
Awesome.
attack score? What
So-
is your melee?
Yeah, so my melee is so weapon skill. I have 5d6 in my pool, but because I have ambidextrous, I get to add 1d6 to my pool.
What
so I
is
have
your grade of?
Oh, sorry, grade.
melee?
Apologies. Good.
So you're good against his superb defense.
Oh boy,
I've got 6d6 to use though.
we're fighting the wrong guy.
So you have to get 6 on at least one of them d6.
6 on one of those D6. Okay,
At
I'm going to
least
use 3 and
two.
3. 3 for the first one and 3 for the second one. They're both the same hit
So
anyway.
this is where, and it's a good point to bring up now, you're actually in melee combat. This is where you can use metal to your advantage. Metal
Oh,
has
yes.
its advantages, so you can double your dice, double your focus. You can take an extra attack following this one if you prefer, but you only get to use the metal you have for one of those actions.
And that's is that per interaction or is that
Per round.
Per round. Okay.
Effectively round.
Okay. I get a +1 to all my weapon skills as well. So I'm gonna roll for the first one, which is 3d6. I got none of those. They were all 4s and 2s. Next one, come on. Next. I got 2 6s. Yes.
Hell yeah.
That's my legs. That would be my leg sword. That
Leg
doesn't
sword.
get the benefit of the focus.
Okay,
Plus one.
so what was your damage for your second one? So you got 2d6s, 2
Yeah.
6s, and
Yeah.
then you got
The damage is 1 plus S.
so 1 plus your successes, so 3. So it just breaks the armor, but you're effectively scraping paintwork as you sort of chase this water in, taking this opportune moment. Did you get any 5s? Because I'll say that probably should have been with advantage, the fact that you sort of moved in behind and used.
Oh,
that
okay.
in that respect.
I did
Apologies
not.
for
Oh no, I
the
would have
confusion.
done with if you count the 4
Focus.
plus 1, which
Yeah,
with
so-
my focus. Yeah.
So you actually sort of dig in and start chopping away, and you can hear with your leg attack it sort of scrape into bone, and the whole form sort of gives and shifts a little bit. And as you sort of peel back, it then sort of brings its sword to bear on you. Behind each of you, back at the edge of the sort of the wooded open area we're in now, you can see the 4 sort of merchants now taking a vested interest into what's going on here, just tucked into the shadows of this area just out of the sunlight, as this large black sword with a skull-headed winged hilt, that's the word, is brought to bear down upon you, Kai. So what is your... I'm going to regret asking this. What is your defense?
Average.
Average.
I should
So-
be in and out. That's how I should play this, not just running in and fighting. But it's fine, you know.
Well, because you moved from zone to zone, that is your
Yeah.
move action.
No,
if
I
you,
know.
If you'd
Yeah, it's
not,
fine.
then you could have used it. However, did you use your metal? Did you use your metal?
I didn't use my metal. I will use it now.
Whatever I've got to do.
So using your metal, you can take an extra action, which includes movement, attacks, hiding, parlaying, reacting. There's a whole list of...
I ain't gonna
of things
parlay,
you
that's for sure. I've done that now.
We tried
that,
that.
failed
Didn't work.
I might use my metal to dodge. Is kind of how I'd rather play it. If that's okay,
So,
can I use that?
yeah, until the
bit
start of your
dodge
next
action.
turn, your defense increases by a step.
Mhm.
So go from average to good. And your dice pool for reflex actions goes up a d6. Or
Yes.
you can run, you can retreat. Maybe not retreat, that's a bad one.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff. So there is options for metal as we sort of move through. And
Yep.
the more we sort of flow backwards and forwards, you'll understand where best to use your metal in that respect. And metal restocks every turn, effectively, every round.
Okay.
So you will never be without, but you will always have it available to use because you're supposed to be badass. So you dodge as the first sort of swipe misses, the second one makes contact. You then sort of move into this sort of dodging stance. The movement with the sword is still going to take place. He's still going to attempt to strike you and strike you down. And the disparity between your good for defense and his extraordinary is still 2.
I was hoping you were gonna say just superb again. I knew it was coming though. And
This is supposed to be a two-parter.
It is. It is. What I mean by two-parter is Kai will be in two separate bits.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. Tight. No doubt.
Oh boy.
So,
I mean, I'll get a second character rolled up. It's fine. I can do that.
it's all right. This will test a few mechanics in one go, that's all. Right, so...
Death saves.
No. Make sure that's... Yeah. So... No. Okay, so his baleful blade, which sounds more like a we won't go into that.
Sounds like a rock
Swings
album.
down, and out of the 11d6 I rolled, to be fair, not all of them hit, so you're not completely dead. I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. I can +1, but I don't need to. Plus Doom. Now, the Doom is how much chaos, darkness, and destruction has permeated through the world. And in the party sheet, I set it at 3, so this is going to be quite bad for you. Are you wearing armor out of interest?
Yes, medium.
Okay, good. That will help you.
Which gives me 2.
4, 5, 6, 7. So it does. Make sure I recount that. 3, 4. 7 points are 7 damage, and it also rends, so it takes a mark 1 off of your armor as well.
Oh,
so as it cuts in, what's your armor out of interest?
It's 2, so it's now at 1.
So now 1. So it hits the 2, so 2 comes off of that 7, knocking it down to 5. So whatever your toughness is now, it's 5 off.
2. I'm at 2 now.
Wow, nice, strong. As the blade is brought back, ripping and tearing some of your armor as it goes back into a warlike stance. And even though it doesn't have eyes, it appears to be staring you down. What are you guys doing as it sort of returns to this state?
I've thrown a deer.
I would scream when I'm getting hurt. I think the words that come out of my mouth is oddment, not actually a scream. It's just like a do your shit. Like
I look around for another deer, but there isn't one.
There's one over there.
It's well tended though.
Yeah, I make eye contact with a deer that was watching in the woods, and it sprints away. I will draw my my battle axe and my warhammer, and screaming obscenities in Dwarden, I will charge at this guy.
Nice.
Now, actually, do I do something? No. We'll try that if this doesn't work. I run at him, and I'm gonna hit him with my weapons, please.
Are you going to take the charge action, which gives you an extra 1d6 on your attack? It does knock your defense down.
And reduces my defense. Yes, please.
Yes, of course.
Of course. Okay.
I don't think does Oddman move in any other way but charge? Like that's
No, he does only charge. As Oddman sort of roars and charges at this guy, you'll see that the runes on his chest and shoulder blades like flare up like into bright golden light, and then he charges. Okay, so that is body plus weapon skill plus an extra dice for charging, which is going to be 7d6.
Nice.
What do I? My attack is good.
So you need to get 5 and above.
How many 5s?
Just 1. It's still 5 to 1. It's a little bit more difficult because of
5 and above. 5 and above. 5 and above. Oof, that's okay. That I've got 3 6s in there.
Nice.
And you know what? There's also a 4, so I am going to spend a point of metal to turn that 4 into a 5, and make that 4 successes. Is that how that works?
Yes. So
Great.
whatever your baseline damage is plus your
that's,
successes.
So baseline damage is 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 damage.
5 damage. So you see some of it gets soaked up by the armor. This white, we will be honest with ourselves at this point in time. Now you're this close to it. This white is wearing as you sort of launch in and clatter in with your weapons. You can see the dirt underneath it. Kai, you're okay. You're kind of planted, but it sort of slides back under the impact of this charge, moving back. And you can see breastplate kind of buckle, and you can hear the cracking of bone underneath. It is still a hardy creature. But
Would
Yes?
ambidextrous apply here?
do you have that?
I do. Does that only account when you're attacking 2 different targets?
No, I think
Or-
it just says first and second.
No, I used it. You can use it for,
Cool.
for the same.
I'm just gonna roll
I'm
one
just gonna
more
use it.
dice because that should have been 8.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
Just gonna roll one more. It's a 1. So we'll ignore that. Yeah,
So
Right.
again, you have you used your metal?
I have
Would
used
you want
it.
to make you use your metal? And
Yep.
again, a resource open to all of you under agreement is the Soulfire. So there's a pool of 3. So if you wanted to do something with that between
yes.
you, that is
Sorry,
an
what I
option.
did was I used my focus to turn, not my metal. I used my
That's right,
focus to
yes.
turn that 4 into a 5. Now I would like to use my metal to make another attack,
Yes, please do.
if that's okay.
It
And-
absolutely is.
And that's everything that applied before applies again.
Absolutely.
So that's 8. I didn't bring enough d6. That's 8
You are,
d6.
you are champions of the God King Sigmar. You have been graced with powers beyond that of the mere mortals who are stood in the trees, probably quite concerned now.
No word of a lie. That is 3 6s.
Nice.
But I've already used my focus this turn.
No, it just applies. You can always focus on.
Always focus. Then I will turn the single 4 that I have into a 5. So that is 5 more damage.
Nice. And again, as your second strike comes in and you sort of crush through armor, again, the armor sort of flexes and takes some of the impact, but there is more bone cracking. As it begins to sort of scan you, Kai, it begins to sort of move its skeletal features and head down to this Dwarden, now taking very much front and center. Akasha, is there anything you want to do in this moment before it rallies itself and takes any form of action?
They're pretty pissed. They're unhappy with the situation. Their staff's still out from the previous strike. They grip it tighter and tighter, the sort of sharpness of the barnacles digging into their skin. And the smell gets stronger and stronger, almost like you can see it. And just around Lord Doon, this cloying mist. And can they? So I'm casting again. This is really hard. I don't know if this is going to work. Make a fortitude test.
They can. Fortitude would be. Make sure I pick
So,
stat body fortitude. So that would be that plus nothing. Okay, happy with that. Well, not happy with that. That's just the way it rolls, as it were. What score am I trying to beat?
4S.
So 4. So you roll it, and then I have to beat 4 plus your successes. Because you have to, have to cast it, and then I have to try and beat what you've cast effectively.
And mine is 5-3, so I have to get 3 successes of 5 or higher, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Gonna be tricky.
Again, Soulfire exists to make this 100% possible if you really want to do this.
There's a DM hint for you.
I'm just laying out the options available to you as a group. So, Soulfire, you can maximize successes, you can re-roll dice, you can regain metal, you can recover toughness. That's not a bad one, Kai. Or you can cheat death. Also not a bad one, Kai.
I feel like because Kai's situation, it would be better spent on that.
Yeah, probably.
You have 3 over the course of.
That's not many. Kai's gonna die.
The course of this game or the course of the fight?
Well, let's see how long you live for.
I'm retreating. That's what I'm doing next. That's for damn sure.
Oh, so close. I only got 2. Oh no, wait a sec. Right, sorry. Right, no, I needed. Oh no, I need 5s.
You need
It's 5-3
5
for me,
Yes.
and I rolled 6 dice, and I got 2 6s. But I also rolled a 4 and I have a focus.
So what's your focus? Must be +1 at least.
I think first level focuses are +1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
make it
so
a
I
5.
so I have 3 6s. Well, 3 above,
3
5 or
5s,
above. Sorry.
Nice.
So you successfully cast a spell, to which I then need to beat that in that respect.
So what was it? 4 plus 3 successes. Was that it?
Yeah, it sounds like that's right. So it'd be 7. 7.
Got to beat 7.
So I got to get 7 successes on 8 dice. This could be...
Okay.
Come on.
Can't see it working, but that's just the way I roll. No, there are lots of 1s and 2s. I got...
Yeah, that's what we like to hear.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just scanning the dice, no. There's more 1s and 2s than there are anything higher than a 4. So what does the spell do?
I don't suppose. Just do skeletons sleep? And perhaps dream of being devoured by unseen gods? That's more the poetic description. The technical thing is they're incapacitated until the start of my next turn. But
Oh, strong.
but
Nice.
thematically, they're supposed to be dreaming of being devoured by an unseen god. I don't know what the white version of that would be.
Well, because it's a white and it retains its consciousness and its thought, and unlike a truly sort of undead servant, it has autonomy in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine you could probably plant that in their
Visions.
consciousness, a vision or a stream of consciousness for which it has become frozen to in that respect, as it sort of the joints lock into place as it deals with this internal struggle from an external force.
Nice.
So while it's now effectively frozen in place, what are you doing?
I'm running
Are you
away.
wailing? Are you running? Are
But
you-
Kai would never do it in that fashion. They would leap and bound backwards in a very like you probably notice they've already hurt themselves very badly, but they'd be moving at distance.
I don't know. I don't know that I've noticed. I'd probably keep hitting him, to be honest. I mean, actually, no. I would ask Ekasha or give me the pronunciation one more time, Shamini.
That was right, Ekasha.
Ekasha.
That's right.
I would ask
Call me Ek.
this particular spell, like how obvious is it? Is it a very subtle one, or is it a big wet one?
would they have felt the
Yeah. How
essence
aware would
of
I
the-
be that this has happened?
Visibly, it's creepy misty. In terms of like incapacitation, it's probably harder to tell on a white than it would be on anyone else.
Okay. Yeah. No
It's like
expression. Got it.
Yeah, because I feel like most of the impact would be. Yeah, 50-50, I'd say, on whether he'd notice.
Okay.
But you'd be able to see that mist sort of hanging.
Yeah, there's
in
mist
and
around their head.
Okay.
I've seen
And
this
I
before.
presume they stop moving, right? He stops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As I
He
say, it's
stops moving,
locked
so
in
that's
place
the-
to process this
Yeah,
stream
that's
of
the
consciousness.
sort of most visible thing, I'd say.
All right. What do you want him to not have? A weapon or a
Ooh,
shield?
nice.
Oh no, weapon. Yeah,
The deer.
The deer.
we've got the deer, right?
I-
You gave the deer.
No, but he threw the deer back on the floor. The deer's on the floor.
Sorry.
But
Sorry.
it's on the floor in reach.
Yeah.
Nothing better happened to this deer during this fight.
I picked
he's
the
dead
deer
already.
up, and I just keep hitting him with the deer. I would like to take his sword.
All right.
I will grasp it, probably not very sensibly, and wrench it out of his grip, please.
You may. I know you are more than capable of doing so. So I'm going to go for the fact that they're incapacitated with this
Yep.
effect. You could probably just take the hand as well. Not
Oh
necessarily.
yeah, I
just
mean,
the
if you'll
sword.
let me, I'll pull this motherfucker's hand off. Yeah.
So there's a twisting motion.
Yeah, I'll grip him around the wrist and just crush, and then pull away. Yeah.
As this death grip round the sword's handle persists, you see this winged hilt, and I'll get you a picture and I'll get you the stats for this weapon in due time, since you have procured it in that or acquired
Excellent.
it.
I was just going to throw it away.
Well, that's up to you. What you do with it is down to you. But...
No, you know what? I think I know what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, I will pull this guy's. I will pull this guy's hand off, and I will. I'll walk up to. I'll walk up to Kai, and I'll present him with this sword. Because I'm not really a sword guy. I'll present him with the sword, and I'll just sort of, I'll look up at Guy and just be like, "What a dickhead!" and then give him the sword.
Just like holding my rib. Yeah.
Thank you. You should have this. I think.
Yeah. Leave it there.
Because he'd hate it.
All right, fine. I sheathe my cutlass and I take that, but in the other hand, I'm getting out my repeater crossbow.
Are we finishing him off or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since he is still incapacitated under Akash's spell, the mist persists around him for a few moments longer at least. I'd say you have greater advantage that he can't defend, he can't move, so...
long enough for us to get round him in a circle and kick him to death?
Yeah, basically.
Possibly not that long, but long enough for one of you to do something very quickly. And since actions are in motion, we'll roll with that as Kai...
Yes, absolutely.
I'm just going to take the repeater crossbow and shoot them in the face, basically. That's my plan.
Yeah.
All right.
Solid plan.
I'm not going to make... You can roll for damage, but I'm not going to make you roll for hit. Because
because he's just standing there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do I need to get on my dice?
So what's your ranged? We'll just work it out.
We've got 4d6 for it.
So you got 4d6. What's your ranged?
Range. Sorry, it's average. It's average.
Against his armor, because that's effectively all you're trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Average. So that would be 5. Take off 2. So you have to get 4s. 4s across the board.
4s across the board, and I got focus on this as well.
And metal. And
metal. Okay, I might. I got 1 6. The rest were all 1s.
Wow.
So I might use my metal to take.
That's a glancing blow with 1 there.
Yeah, which is I only get success on that. But can I use my metal to attack again?
You can absolutely.
Yeah, do it.
Nice. Yes.
Aha! That's more like it. 3 successes.
Yeah, boy.
Nice.
Use
Let's
a
go.
soul pool as well. Use everything. Kill him. Now's the time.
Your repeater crossbow bolts, the first one sort of bounces off a cheek and sort of the splinters part of the sort of top part of the jaw section. The rest just kind of shoot holes. As you've now found that they're above the armor, there is a head. And you've decided to go for that instead.
That's what I was going for.
This bit.
I couldn't reach it.
So it is now sort of eye sockets are full of crossbow bolts which don't move because it's still now starting to come out of this incapacitated. And how long does it last, your incapacitation?
Until the start of my next turn.
So that would be very soon.
Yeah.
So as these bolts impact and you can hear them hitting the back of the helm sort of headdress that this wight has been wearing, as they sort of splinter through the bone and crack and make that sort of metallic shuddering sound. It then begins to sort of rock, and the arm, the handless arm, this begins to sort of break from this incapacitation. The shield begins to wobble slightly. The boots begin to slide on the floor as though searching for grip. What are you guys doing as this thing is about to come round from this?
Can I... What would you want me to roll, Adam, to suplex this skeleton?
Ooh, that would be probably body might again.
I would like to suplex this skeleton.
Absolutely, go for it. We'll say 4s. Still woozy. He's about to come out. If this doesn't go well, then you may very well find yourself being
Body might. Now, would you
Would I? Yes.
Now,
got
would you say that
negotiation.
would you say that my grip strength is part of this?
I'm willing to lean into a bit of strength grip
Yeah?
required. He's wearing heavily armored with the full battle dress and the cape.
It's gonna
You need to-
be tough to lift this guy, right?
I mean,
Like-
it's going to need all the effort you can give it, and all the sort of
All right.
the oomph that
Okay.
only a man of your stature and grip strength could persist with.
So with my
do I,
iron
I
grip
should say.
talent, that allows me to double my training in might when gripping stuff is involved.
Nice.
So that takes this from 6 dice to wait, hang on. That would be another 4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, hang on. Sorry,
Hang on.
I
Let's do
can't do maths. Hang on. 4
let's
for
do math.
might. Yeah, live maths, everybody. Well, pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded live maths.
Premeditated maths.
4 body. 2 my. Yeah, just makes it 8. Just makes it 8 again.
Okay.
Okay.
Only 8.
That is a little cocked. Okay, so far. Wait, what do I need? 5s?
4s.
4s. Oh boy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes, please.
MVP.
Nice.
I made a character who was good at one thing,
That's true.
And it's holding on to people.
and it's holding on to stuff.
Stuff. Describe how it looks as you do this suplex motion, this movement.
I because he's coming back, but it's not super quickly. I think Oddmund brisk walk from where he left Kai after handing him the sword. As he sort of arrives at Lord Dune, whips around to the back of him, locks his arms like all the way around his waist as high as he can, and then just fully leans over backwards, like lifting him as he goes, so that the first thing to hit the ground is the skull and the neck.
Nice.
As he goes over backwards, just fully this 4-foot Dwarden lifting this. What you said he was like 7 feet tall.
Between 6 and 7 feet.
6
Give
and
a little bit
7,
of
fully armored.
headdress and
Yeah. Just hefts him over backwards and smashes him into the ground. I hope for damage.
Absolutely. We'll take all those successes as damage. So, as Oddmund, you sort of peel back in this most athletic of Zangief-style suplexes. You all hear the crunch, because it's bone, so it's going to make a crunching sound, followed by metal, followed by that sort of weird popping sound where sort of interconnected discs are now no longer interconnected. It's like bubble wrap, but on some sort of steroid. As this thing sort of discombobulates almost down the central column, you can hear sort of collarbone pressing into breastplate, literal sort of breastbone. As the armor doesn't soak up the sheer force that you exert into this individual, crushing them into the ground as you do sort of over the shoulder. The shield slides off the arm, off the left arm and away, and the handless arm just kind of falls limp. In the unawkward way you sort of folded him over, the bottom half of the armor now sort of lives over and on top of this
It's
this white.
pretty undignified, I'm guessing.
It's not how he started the day anyway. Poor Lord Balfron Dune.
He was really rude.
And and at this point remains motionless.
I
There
sort
is-
of
There is a
Oddman
slight
stands up
cheer
and-
from the crowd.
dusts his massive hands off. Right, well, shall we
Nice.
go?
Nice one. That was good.
Kai, are you all right?
No.
we need to. They need to. I don't know. Rest or what do you
Yeah.
need to do?
I need some medicine, I think. Just like
I
cough
can,
up a bit of blood.
I could take a look at that.
All right. That'd be very kind, Oddman. You've done already so much today, sir.
Not a problem, I say, as I, like a bowling ball, put my fingers and thumb into the eye sockets and the nose hole, brace one foot against his shoulder, and just pull his skull and spine out from the inside of the armor.
I'll have those
and then,
bolts
like-
back, actually.
And then, like, kind of quite awkwardly see if Akasha wants the skull. Sort of go over and...
I'm going to stick with the deer, actually.
Oh, all right. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. It's
I'll
more to my
just have
taste.
just a tooth for me then.
And I'll pop a tooth out of the skull and throw it over my shoulder into the
Oh,
bushes.
I wanted those
Nice.
bolts.
Oh,
Fuck it.
oh, sorry.
It's alright. It's alright. Thanks. Right.
So, Rinda sort of races over to you, especially you, Kai, and she's like, "Are you okay? I can do something as we move. I have some medical supplies in the bag. It'll be all right."
Oh, that's very gracious of you. Thank you very much.
Is it early enough that we could stop here?
You could move on a bit and stop, and maybe a stop is not a bad suggestion at this point. So we'll say we move down the trail a little bit further, and as Rinda is sort of supporting you, Kai, as you move, Ibnir sort of says to you, Akasha, as she would probably try and say your full name out of spite. I see we're done here. We're moving on then.
We're going to stop soon. Akasha looks like is sort of like very like sort of like looking at Kai and like maybe slightly glaring at Rinda about like whether she's like, I don't know, looking after them right, or just kind of a little bit like antsily buzzing, just like what's going on over there. We'll stop somewhere soon and rest.
Yes. So as we move down the trail, we find a suitable place to rest, and while the party and the binding are resting, we will take a short break there.
Oh.
Hey.
Look at that timing.
Oh.
Nice.
Short break, people.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Grand.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to this Actual Play UK TTRPG stream of the Cubicle 7 TTRPG Soulbound. The adventure will continue very shortly. I have been absolute privileged to continue the game on with these wonderful players and John in the background, so always a big shout out to John.
John.
When we left, the certain members of our binding required a little bit of healing. So just for their awareness and yours, healing works in a couple of different ways. You can take a breather, so 10 minutes, get some toughness back, or you can take a nice 8-hour rest, while you would in the middle of this place with your traveling party jabbing you in the ribs to try and urge you onwards is a bit of a mystery, but you can always try, I suppose. Or there are conventional medicines, or the currency within the game, Aqua Granus, actually has healing properties as well. So if you need to boost yourself, you can drink your own currency, making yourself poorer to make your life richer. It's a nice counterpoint there. So
I might just before I can't remember who it was who came up. Was it Rinda who came up to me? Or was
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
Rinda.
Rinda looked to help me. I would probably go, nope, it's fine, love. I've got this. I'll just take a sip and just a couple of 5 drops of my money, and get myself back up to full health.
Toughness. All right.
Yeah.
She fawns over you a lot, in awe of all of your combat prowess, but especially you, Kai, taking the injuries, taking the brunt of the damage there. She wants to assist and tend to you, while the others just kind of stand back, and Imbir gives sort of displeased looks that we've had to stop on the tracks again, and sort of side-eyes you, Akasha, as sort of tapping the foot in some frustration as though wanting to move on and progress. You've already found the forest to be a less than hospitable place, and she is keen to progress. Is there anything you want to do before we move on? Yes, the stats for the sword.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware, Kai, you have been gifted the Baleful Blade, a very powerful weapon. Has a couple of stats I'll pass on to you, but more importantly, or as importantly, it relates to how much doom there is within the world at this time. So as doom increases, the weapon becomes more powerful. That unfortunately means that every time you use the weapon, doom will increase,
Right.
and therefore those wanting the weapon back will become more and more invested in its return to its rightful owner, shall we say.
Right. Last resort sort of blade.
As and when you decide. I'm not here to make those decisions for you, however it might be soon. So is there anything else the party want to do, the binding want to do, before Imbir sort of basically forces you onward down the path?
I think Oddmund, while he's tying the tooth he took from Lord Doon's skull to add to all his other trinkets in his hair and beard, I'll turn to Akasha.
I think you were right.
What?
I think you were right about our skeleton friend back there. Not
Glorious, no.
no.
No, absolutely not. If you imagine dying to someone that rude.
No. Yeah. I for the best, I suppose.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll find something, bigger,
Yes.
nasty along the way.
Just until you verify that it is something worth dying a glorious death to, you are being careful, right? Just until that point, and then obviously you'll, die. Go ahead, die as hard as possible, but until then,
It's not really about being careful.
just
But,
you wouldn't want to die wrongly, would you?
look,
You wouldn't want to die badly.
no, but it's not really about. I can't think about it too much, Like, it just has to be organic,
Well, okay. I just, if you were to be reckless, I just wouldn't want an unworthy death for you. I'm very pro your death. I hope I've made clear that I am pro you dying, but just
Thank you.
at the one perfect time.
Well, look, I'll leave that kind of tactical decision up to you.
Yes, you should leave that to me. Yes, good,
but,
very, very sensible.
I'll keep throwing those deer, eh?
Throw the deer.
Well, carrying that deer, right?
Oh
Yeah.
God, we took the deer. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll.
Yep. I'm just carrying it.
On your back.
In your vice-like grip.
Good. Good.
So, go on.
All right. Well, let's get going then.
Told you there was nothing to be worried about those shadows. See, we totally, completely. Whoever was it Osmodon who was getting a bit wary of shadows.
Ah, laddie, you see them shadows? I don't know if that was the end of the problem. See, it's we'll find out, I suppose. I heard rumors. See, I heard rumors. I did, and many things in this forest I know. Many. Well, I don't know. I heard. People have told me once, and I believe them because they're people.
Right. Well, believe me that we've dealt with that one with relative ease, and we will continue to provide safety for you as we move forward. That was all. I just thought I would use an example to help you ease your troubles and your worries.
Are you sure you're all right, Kai? Because we could stop for longer.
Nope, I'm all right. I've got enough money to keep me going. It's fine.
I'm in budget. I'm all right.
I'm all right. It's all right.
Imbir says, yes, well, one skeleton that may be, but there are worse things that have been troubling the region. Now, I'm sure you're more than capable of handling them as well, but maybe we should be on our guard.
Certainly.
Always.
I'm sure my matron is eagerly awaiting my return to Anvilgard, and the more time we waste here, the more displeased she may be with me. And I wouldn't have that.
Too sweet. Let's move.
Well, yeah. Let's go.
If you're sure, Kai.
Yeah, it's fine.
As you three begin to sort of drop into your walk, and Rinda very much still sort of almost arm in arm with you, Kai, at this point, sort of wanting to tend and support you now even more, and hear about how you defeated the skeletal warrior back there, because she's not completely as educated on all these topics as you are. She's still learning.
Did you see how I ran through the water spell and I did the flip and this one? Just recounting how.
I saw, and she's really lapping it up, enamored by you and your charm.
Well,
the other two.
I suppose I'm just a joke to you then. Fine. No.
No, and dear Oddmund then with his incredible prowess and strength and those are magically, spells from extra.
That was a team effort. Was a team effort.
Yeah.
Rinda keeping this going sort of says, "Oh, but I saw what you did, Kai, and it was so brave. So I know they were there, but you were so brave, Kai. Sigmar has truly blessed you with this binding."
Yes, he very much has, and I don't like to say it often enough, but yeah, I was meant to be here. I was put on this earth for a reason, and that reason, actually wells me up a little bit. The reason is to just do good and rid the world of evil, save the world and all that.
Apart from that time you were a pirate.
Yeah, but that's where I grew up. I'm not.
You're not that person anymore, are you, Kai? You're not that person. I one day want to be like you, Kai. One of Sigmar's chosen. Will you show me the way, Kai?
Kai actually, to this point, actually finds that slightly too far. He's like, even for Kai, he's like, I like being praised, but yeah, maybe. Yes, well, cool.
I'm going to join up with the devoted of Sigmar when we get to, or back up with the devoted of Sigmar when we get to Anvilgard. And everything you show me, your guiding light, can only steer me on the good path.
I'm glad. Realizing internally Kai is someone who likes to have a challenge to get people to like him. And when they start to like him, when they start to like him, he's like,
oh, Kai,
done.
that's Kai. That's it. I'm sorry
Done.
now. No,
Disconnect.
Wow.
too much. He's like, oh no, that's that done. All right. He's just gonna ignore them. He's not a great person, Kai, all the time. I'm just
That's fine.
He's cool.
He's who he is, and that's how they are. In that respect. So as you continue to move through, Omidon and Roscoe, thank you. I'm glad somebody wrote these names down. Omidon and Roscoe are keeping sort of pace with you, Pip. Oh, Kai's ahead. I will get there. I've done this before. There's a whole party dynamic
We are
going on.
playing a game. This is not my real hair.
What? No. So, Omidon and Roscoe are keeping sort of pace with you, Pip, trying to understand a bit more about your fire, your Urgold and all the rest of it. Roscoe is sort of almost leaning in to try and peel it off, whereas Omidon is sort of looking at the mastery of the craft to implant the thing on your skin in the first place. It's a weird dynamic either side of you. They're both paying you sort of this intent, sort of visual, sort of scanning of your physique, but for very different reasons.
Can I help you?
And almost as a chorus, they're like, yeah. And they sort of have a weird moment where they both kind of look away from you, just at the tree line as a sort of walk, and you can hear the backpacks sort of clinking and bouncing as they go. And almost in time, but not quite, as this whole group is sort of bouncing and moving along, and you can hear the stuff in Rinder's backpack sort of jiggling around. Strangely, nothing from Roscoe's, but that's a bit weird. And Inbeer's is sort of pulled tight so it doesn't shift as much. There's this sort of follow-on sensation that sort of moves through the ground and sort of comes up through your respective foot, as the group sort of feel this sort of almost resonant sensation, this frequency of tremor, as it were, sort of moving through. And as you continue to walk and it becomes more apparent to everybody, the sort of the looks, the scanning of the trees takes a bit longer as you look through. And again, it's wooded, and looking through to your west as you're heading south, just trees, and it moves through in a couple of spaces where the sunlight sort of really comes through, and it looks quite picturesque, and there are flowers and a couple of butterflies and all this sort of calmness over to that side. But to the east and to the southeast, as you sort of trace across, you can see poking up out of the tree line the sort of the tip of a spire almost, or a column, an obelisk, maybe. And at first it sort of blended in, it was green, but the further you move down south, the more this sort of structure sort of stands out and becomes taller than the tree line. Whereas before you couldn't see the wood for the trees, you can now see this, begin to see this stand above the top of the canopy. And that rhythmic sensation is sort of coming from that general area. How do you guys respond to this new stimulus?
Do you feel that?
Yeah,
Bit weird.
that's odd.
Can either of you, I don't know, look at the ground and tell what's been here through here recently? He said he was looking for tracks. We should have
Oh, yeah.
looked for tracks when we were there.
Oh,
Good point. Sorry, I was sort of preoccupied.
Not you, Kai. You're fine.
Uh,
I mean,
I
looks
can
a bit-
look at the ground. Sure.
Look at the ground. Odman, look at the ground for a bit.
All right. Okay.
I look at the ground.
Dutifully.
I dutifully
Yeah,
look at the
good,
ground
good,
and do
good.
as I am told.
As you look down, Omadonna and Roscoe sort of circle round to the side of you and also look at the ground as though it's like...
just 3 dwarfs circling around the ground.
What are you looking at, laddie?
The ground?
I see that. But what for?
I look at Akasha. I'm looking.
Are there any clues there?
What clues are you looking for? That's the question.
Tracks.
All right. I'm looking for tracks.
People who have come from here and gone to the aforementioned
Is there?
creepy-
Are there any signs of passage in the
That's
area
the
that we're
one.
in? I'll say.
good word.
Do me a... Let's go with mind nature.
Oh boy. That's
Everybody can... Now this has
gonna
sort of been
be-
highlighted out.
That is
Anyone
fun.
that wants to roll mind nature can.
Okay.
And you can do it
A
with
single
advantage
dice.
because...
Should I use survival?
I will go with survival. I will do
Yeah, I
that.
like that.
Thank you.
I can
That's
live with
nice.
it.
That would just give me an extra dice. that's all.
When you have, how does advantage work, Adam? You did
So
explain it to me, but I've
advantage-
forgotten.
Advantage lowers the difficulty. Disadvantage raises the difficulty.
Got it.
So instead of a 4, you would need a 3. So
Only 4s.
a 3 or a 4.
A 3 or a 4 on 1 dice.
Yes, please.
A
got-
2.
Oh.
So I needed
What's,
4s, did I?
I've
Yeah.
found a rock.
That's nothing.
I've become
I've
very
got-
distracted by a rock.
I got 2 4s.
Oh, well done.
2 4s. So, Pep, everything you're looking at has a different pair of Dwarden feet now walking around it in circles. So you're sort of tracking yourselves effectively. You end up with a weird sort of circle as they sort of move around, check the ground next to you, and sort of scuff any tracks that were there. Kai, what did you get? Sorry, did you get any successes?
None.
You're too busy probably trying to fend off Rinda at this point, as she is sort of still there in possibly too close proximity, just trying to...
I need my personal space.
Yes. However,
Save us, Akasha.
as you look over and down and round, and Imbir sort of looks over at you and looks down and looks round and gives you another one of those I'm bored of this looks, you spot what can only be described as almost large amphibian type feet. The sort of oversized, 3-pronged and sort of a single harsh heel as it comes to the back. But the way the impression is made, they're in pairs, and it's pairs. So there's a heavy depression at the toe, and then it looks like they dig in, and then there is a significant gap before the next set of heavy depressions, and then it sort of lifts and moves on, and it goes through the tree down in that southern eastern direction in this. And as you look round and you start to see they overlap, there isn't 1 set or 2 sets, there's 4, 5, 6 heading at the tree line where it's less disturbed. There's 7, 8, 9 different sets as they've flattened the grass or broken twigs as they've gone through. Here on the main track where in the center where it's firmer, the tracks aren't as deep. As it goes into the softer grassy area and then into the sort of the undergrowth and the softer mud, you can see a significant amount of weight has gone in, either by sheer sort of bodily mass or by pressure as this movement has taken place. Something similar, you would think, taking it out of this sphere would be something like a kangaroo or a rabbit, where it launches itself from point to point.
Something's
but
hopping.
with more.
Right.
Yes.
Do I know of any like giant frog people or creatures?
Not frog people as such, but in your previous adventures, have you, and I'll let you make this up entirely, have you ever come up against goblins or the Gloomspire gits. They are the same thing.
That's what the Gloomspire gits are,
Mhm.
which we know.
I now know what these are.
We've heard.
Yeah.
We've heard that the some of the. Sorry, you. No, okay. Sorry, spoilers. We're not really. We don't know about that. Sorry, I'm just. You sent us some information, and I'm like, it's information we know. It's information we don't know.
That information that is
Yeah.
common to everyone. The information
Yeah.
in that thread. So
Oh, okay.
We probably would have done some research on that.
So we've heard that a Gloomspike gits, which is a bunch of goblins have
Goblins,
been hanging
effectively.
out around here.
They're sort of mushroom worshipping night goblins.
effectively,
Yeah.
Are
I
they?
think-
Do they jump?
They ride things that jump.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I will point this all out and
Yes.
yeah,
I mean, you mean
gesture at the ground
squigs,
a lot.
right? Squigs, I'm imagining.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
Squigs.
Squigs. They're like.
Look, the ground. As I said, the ground.
I love
Over
how
here at the ground.
we've looked at the ground. There's huge footprints, but we've all missed them. It's like as well. But yeah, it's great.
Oh,
that's what happens when you just walk through places and
It's true.
are distracted by other things and people.
It's true.
that looks like quite a lot of them.
Mm.
Maybe if they all jumped at the same time, then it's making the ground vibrate. Maybe they're all 1, 2, 3, jump.
Maybe that. I mean, to be fair, I'd take it. I'll take it. I've never encountered them before. I've heard about squigs, but I've actually never had to fight them.
Oh,
Sea creatures, all of them. Land ones, not so much.
Let's keep an eye out as we're going.
yeah, I think might be a bit of a challenge to convince our companions to go in the direction of goblins.
I think it's a bit. Yeah.
Maybe we come back after we've got rid of them.
That's a
See, that's an idea I can get behind. Yeah,
with you on that.
I turn in a circle and sort of take in the area that we're in as if I'm just trying to make a really clear mental picture of where this is. I will have almost certainly forgotten by the time we've gone like 10 paces.
So, are you continuing down your current path, or are you cutting through the forest to head southeast?
Our current path is the quickest way to the city, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
We'll
one
do
you
that.
plotted and planned.
As Oddman said, they're not gonna be very happy. But
Will this
dig
path
with
take
detours.
us to this spire?
It takes you in closer proximity than other routes you could have taken, but they added delays onto your journey, so you will be passing relatively close.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will be able to see it effectively in all its greenish glory. Yes. As you continue on down this path. So you maintain your route down this allotted track, your path, this route that you planned and plotted and spoken about and had disagreements with the group and all the because they're difficult people, I'm afraid. It's just who they are. And as you move on down and through the trees, and again this sensation now becomes starts getting parallel with you as your proximity to the ziggurat that you would know exists. It's marked on the maps. You are aware of its existence. Most people have given it a wide berth, very wary, very suspicious, and maybe superstitious of things that happen in and around it. Various myths and lore exists that sort of tells different tales of what happens to those that go close to it and near it and things like that. As you sort of weave on down and through it now, that odd rhythmic sensation is now more sporadic. It's sort of changing, and you can hear air moving through the trees as though heavy movement sort of whistles back slowly through and ripples the foliage. There is a almost guttural roar that tears through the now late after or mid to late afternoon air as it sort of comes through the trees. It is deep, it is primordial, and it sort of ripples through, and it sounds not angry but almost frustrated or pained or panged in some way, as birds birds that were in the sort of the tops of the branches and things now lift off into the air and scatter and fly west away from this sound. What are you doing?
What the heck was that?
Having some kind of very bad party.
Or a very
Or
good
a good one. Yeah.
party.
Doesn't sound like a good party to me.
How many parties have you been to, Odmund? How many parties you get invited to?
4.
4.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're your birthdays, Odmund.
I can't remember when that is, to be honest. It's been a long time.
Would you like a birthday party, Odmund?
Could be today. We can make it today.
We could.
We could just make today your birthday.
We could throw you a party.
It's been a pretty good day so far. Like, why not?
All right. Right, everyone.
In
We have
here, Cassie,
plans.
she's like, no, no.
Well, we've got a deer.
It's
So
Odmund's birthday.
You've just decided it's his birthday. What about that roar sound?
Maybe
Wait, what?
as a birthday treat, we go check it out.
I think that actually sounds rather fun, to be honest.
Special birthday treat for Odmund, whose birthday it now is.
I'm not following you on some other death wish.
Oh, no,
Find us
not
somewhere
you.
safe and we will set up camp.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't inviting you. Sorry, you're not invited to the birthday. Sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't clear. We're having the party. You can, yes, all right. Yeah, can
Maybe they could prepare the deer and we could give
Oh.
them some of the deer. But they can have a party when we come back as well. Like,
what if they eat the deer while we're gone?
we're gonna eat all the well, there are 2 dwarves maybe, but I mean,
Do we trust them with the deer?
well, why don't we
the whole
leave them
deer?
half the deer?
Yeah, we should take half the deer for Odmund's party. Right. Can we look for someone?
Yes.
No, I've got to have something to throw, I suppose.
That's 2 jobs.
hind
Firstly,
legs.
Pretty sure I can throw half a deer with one arm, so that should be fine.
okay, Odmund,
Yeah.
pull the deer in half. And I'm gonna look for a nice spot to camp. That's safe and away from where we're going.
All right.
I pull a deer.
I'll help cut it. I'll help cut it whilst you're holding it.
Nice.
You're holding it out like I get my leg and I
lift
cut it in half.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
Happy
yeah.
birthday.
We've been working on this. We've been working on this. It's our little party trick.
Yeah.
I will throw the
Should we
deer up. And then
Yes, no, backflip and
I will
slice
throw
it.
the deer up so that Kai can backflip and kick it in half.
No,
with
wait,
his sword leg.
we should have set fire to it, and then you should have blown out the fire, and then you should have cut it, and then.
When he does that, we'll just
It's
try and like
already
stick a
done.
gap.
It's
Okay.
already done. We're all covered in blood.
Okay,
Yes.
It's already done.
okay.
Just-
That was, I mean, that was
Fine.
enough of a ritual, wasn't it? To be
Yeah,
honest.
right, all right.
That was pretty much something.
We'll sing later. We'll sing once we get to the party.
So,
But yeah, let's take the travelers somewhere safe and set them up and then go investigate.
all right. So, Akash, you find somewhere a bit further down the road. There's a creek that gives them sort of water. They're able to set up limited sort of stand-to tents, and sort of at least set out a fire pit to give them some ability to cook part of the deer, I guess, and fire for warmth and limited protection. Imbir is incensed is the wrong word, but you really get that vibe from her. As she now perches on a rock, waiting for deer to be cooked. As you three covered in deer blood, sort of happily waylaying off course to go and investigate.
Did we choose the right order? I think we were. I don't know if we've actually chosen the right binding. I don't know if we are.
I think we're gonna get fired.
Destruction.
I think Sigmar's gonna change his
Have a
mind.
couple of words. We better do good for Sigmar by sorting this out, I guess. Maybe.
We smashed up a skeleton. He probably liked that. Probably. I don't know.
So in amongst all of this butchery,
Sorry,
That was incredible Foley. That was an
It
amazing
was. That was the
sound.
sound. That was the sound for sure.
so in amongst all this bloodshed and this sort of sporadic
Party
impact
planning.
tremor and partying and candle making and tent/camp establishing, there has been subsequent roars, and as you begin to now move eastward, because you've sort of come a bit further south and now more sort of perpendicular, you're on track with it, you're in line with it.
Yeah.
Head into the trees. The further you move in, the more you can see sort of stuff bouncing and moving. Flashes of red and green and sort of purple and rag seem to be dancing across in front of you, just at the edge of your eye line. And they're sort of part bathed in shadow and beyond, sort of beautifully sort of illuminated through the sun's light, is the ziggurat. And as you approach, that suppressive tempo of movement starts to sound like it's coming around behind you.
No.
And
Don't
as you
love
find
that.
yourselves deep within the trees, isolated and surrounded, that is where we will end.
Dun dun dun!
Dun, dun, dun.
I throw a deer.
Just whirlwind.
Yeah,
I
well,
throw-
anymore.
I throw half a
Can I
deer.
just
Did we get
Have you
the
got
front half at
half?
least?
That was what I was just
Yeah.
checking. Front half or back half?
Tell me we got the front half.
Well, no, but the
Yeah,
meteor
well-
part's the back half, though, right? So we want that.
Oh no, you're right. God damn it.
I would have
It's my-
suggested.
It's my birthday and I want the front half.
Okay.
Fair play.
Fair.
Right.
Oh.
So, with the correct half of the deer in hand, and noises all around you, movement, shadows, and the ziggurat awaiting, it has been an absolute pleasure to play Cubicle 7's TTRPG Soulbound for Actual Play UK and the fantastic binding. Please reintroduce yourself and everywhere we can find you. Shamini, please.
My name is Shamini. You can find me on the internet at sbundell. That's Bundell with a B and 2 L's. You can also find my show RPGeeks at RPGeeks D&D. That's RPGeeks DND. We're on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, the YouTube places.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Many places. Pip, please.
Yes, I have been Pip Gladwin. You can find me at Pip_Gladwin on Twitter, where I'll likely be talking about whatever it is that I'm doing. If you like tabletop RPGs, and if you don't and you're watching this, that's odd.
They're watching for you, Pip.
especially if you've got to this point, like
They
very
saw
strange.
your face. and they were in.
I'm a part of a tabletop RPG podcast called Realms of Peril and Glory. You can find us at Realms Pod on Twitter, or just Realms of Peril and Glory in your podcatcher of choice. We play a bunch of different systems, lots of different games. It's great fun. Shamini's guested, so if you hated me but you liked Shamini, that's kind of a, there's a give or take there. You can,
Nice.
I got to suplex a skeleton today, so I'm good.
Win.
It was all right on the white.
Very-
Hamilton.
Oh, do I have to follow that? Seriously? Jesus. Right.
Hamilton, please.
Me. Right. My name is Hamilton. You can find me on Twitter at TheDragonDM. You can also find me everywhere else at the moment at Hazard Stripes. If you like Warhammer, if you like Warhammery stuff, I do a Warhammer YouTube channel which talks a bit more about Necromunda than anything, but you can find me there on YouTube doing those sorts of things. I also do the DM's Book Club, which is at the DM's Book Club on Twitter with Fiona, and you can find that wherever you find glorious podcasts such as that. And if you want to know more about Bowies and D&D, Bowies and Spelljammer, you can go to @Bowies_D&D on Twitter, and you'll get more updates as to when that happens. And that's everything. I promise.
Nice. Massive shout out before I say goodbye personally to John,
John,
the troll of Two-Ton Bridges,
John
makes all the magic happen here and beyond, and helps run the Discord that Jordan Carmichael set up. So it is an absolute treasure to behold. Is part of a fantastic podcast set in the Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah.
So check that out. I am Adam. I am the GM, interviewer and editor for Snyder's Return, a tabletop interview and natural play podcast. You can find me on Twitter @ReturnSnyder, on Instagram @Snyders_return, and you can also find us on YouTube for very limited content at the moment. A couple of shorts and a few other bits to enjoy. Once again, has been an absolute pleasure to run this game for this group, for the stream, and on behalf of Actual Play UK. So please join us again on the 13th. And there'll be more notifications of more streams and shows and opportunities to support these fantastic people within the community then as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.